I am 83 years old. My wife has been gone for 8 years now. And every time I step out of the house, whether I am at the post office or just getting groceries, people look at me with those sad, worried eyes. They always say the same thing, Henry, you shouldn't be alone. You need someone to take care of you. You need a companion. For a long time, I let their voices get inside my head. In fact, 4 years ago, I actually listened to them. I met someone, and I tried to open my heart again. But today, I'm going to tell you the truth about what really happened during that time, a truth that most people are too afraid to admit at our age. Stick around, because once you hear why I decided to close that door forever, you might realize that the silence in your own home is the greatest gift you've ever received. For a long time, I didn't know there was a difference between being alone and being lonely. Society teaches us that if a room is quiet, something is missing. We are told that 1 is a lonely number. But after 8 years of walking this path, I've realized that loneliness is a hunger for someone else to tell you that you matter. Solitude, on the other hand, is the quiet joy of realizing you are already enough. When my wife passed, the silence felt like a heavy blanket. It felt like a void. But slowly, that void turned into a space where I didn't have to be a husband, a father, or a provider. I just had to be me. I stopped looking at my empty house as a sign of loss and started seeing it as a kingdom of peace. You see, when you are always with someone else, you are always performing. You are adjusting your volume, your schedule, and even your thoughts to fit theirs. But in solitude, you finally get to hear your own voice again. 4 years ago, I decided to give it a try. I met a woman through some mutual friends. She was kind, she was smart, and she had a laugh that could wake up a whole room. At first, it felt like the world was right again. My daughter stopped worrying, and my friends gave me a pat on the back. "Good for you, Henry," they said. But as the months went by, the walls of my life started to feel like they were closing in. It started with the small things. She wanted to change the way I made my morning coffee. She wanted the radio on during dinner when I preferred the sound of the wind. Then, it became the big things. She had her own set of worries, her own family drama, and her own expectations of how I should spend my time and my money. I found myself at 80 years old, trying to learn a new dance that I didn't have the energy for. I was spending my afternoons at loud restaurants when I wanted to be in my workshop. I was checking my phone every 10 minutes because she'd get upset if I didn't reply fast enough. I realized that in trying not to be alone, I was losing the one person I had finally started to like myself. It took me months of feeling exhausted to realize that I wasn't failing at love, I was failing at protecting my own spirit. I had to stop and look at the cold, hard truth of what a relationship actually costs a man at my age. You see, when you are 83, your energy is like a battery that doesn't hold a charge like it used to. It is a finite resource. Every morning, I have a choice. I can spend that energy on the things that feed my soul, my books, my workshop, the quiet birds in my backyard, or I can spend it managing someone else's expectations. Dating at our age isn't like dating in your 20s. It's not just dinner and a movie. It's an invasion of the sanctuary you've spent years building. Suddenly, Your home, your safe harbor, smells like a perfume you didn't choose. Your evenings are filled with noise when your brain is begging for silence. You find yourself saying yes to things you hate, just to avoid the guilt of being boring. We spend our whole lives trying to fit in, trying to be a good partner. But at 83, I've realized that peace is a much better companion than a person who doesn't understand the beauty of a quiet room. The cost of not being alone is often the loss of the peace you worked a lifetime to earn. And for me, that price is simply too high. When I realized the price of my peace was too high, I also realized a deeper truth that no one tells us. We spend our whole lives being told that we are like half circles, constantly rolling around, searching for another half to finally become a whole. They call it finding your better half. But at 83, after all the storms I've weathered and all the love I've given, I finally see the lie in that. The ancient Stoics had a beautiful way of looking at it. They believed our souls should be like a fortress, the inner citadel. It is a place that is already complete. You are not a half-circle, Henry. You are a full, solid, and beautiful circle all by yourself. The silence of this house isn't a sign of what I've lost. It's a sign of how much room I've made for the truth. When you stop looking for someone to sit across from you, you finally learn how to sit with yourself. You realize that you don't need someone else to justify your existence or to fill your time. You are the author of your own final chapter, and you don't need a company star to make the story meaningful. When you are comfortable in your own soul, you realize you were never truly alone to begin with. You were just finally, quietly, coming home to yourself. So, to my friends out, parents, sitting on your own porches tonight, feeling the weight of the world's expectations, I want to give you something. I want to give you permission to stop. You don't need to get back out there. You don't need to find someone else to be complete. If you are divorced, widowed, or have been single for years, and you feel a sense of peace in your quiet home, keep it. Protect it like the treasure it is. You are not a failure because you are alone. You are a sovereign. Take your time. Drink your coffee while it's hot. Read that book until the sun goes down. And remember, the most important relationship you will ever have is the one you are building right now, in the silence, with yourself. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me here at the Silver Porch. If this message touched your heart, please leave a comment below. I want to hear about your own quiet moments. And if you want to walk this path of peace with me, hit that subscribe button. We have a lot more to talk about. I'm Henry. Stay peaceful, stay whole, and I'll see you on the porch next time. Good night.